The film opens on the ocean. A woman named Stone narrates, describing what she calls home. As she speaks, a figure appears before her, a smiling woman, beckoning her forward in an instant. That figure vanishes beneath the surface. Stone rushes toward the water, desperate to help. Then everything cuts. She wakes in darkness, a suffocating, windowless room. She screams, begging to be released. The scene shifts again. Her eyes open once more, but this time she is strapped to a medical gurney. Being wheeled through an unfamiliar corridor by a stranger, she screams again. When she finally comes to rest, she finds herself seated across from Dr. Brooke. He explains the situation calmly. This is St. Leonard's Island, located 129 kilometers off the coast of Ireland. Population 1,100. It functions as both an international prison and a medical research facility, one of the most remote and fortified places on Earth. Stone is a prisoner here, awaiting execution. A former U.S. Special Forces operative, she had been deployed as personal security for State Senator Allen, a role that ended in tragedy when she took the lives of the senator and everyone in his household. Her death sentence is scheduled for next month. Dr. Brooke has a proposal. He tells her he can offer her a second chance, a real life, if she agrees to participate in his medical trials. These experiments, he claims, could lead to breakthroughs in treating cancer, Alzheimer's, and AIDS. While he speaks, the lights flicker repeatedly. Stone eyes him carefully and tells him plainly, he is just as trapped on this island as she is. Before their conversation can go further, a raven crashes through the window and falls dead on the floor. Two officers enter, Lennon and Woodhouse, dispose of the bird, and escort Stone back to her cell. The facility becomes clearer as the story moves forward. Officers Lennon and Woodhouse walk the corridors of a place barely held together. Woodhouse sighs. The female prisoners with something predatory along the way. A priest kneels beside a prisoner named Butcher. The other inmates are striking their plates against the walls in protest. Demanding food, Stone is returned to her cell, where she meets her cellmate, a woman nicknamed Blonde, whose hostility is immediate. Stone reaches into a book she carries and finds a butterfly resting. Between the pages, she lifts it carefully, coaxing it toward flight. It is a quiet, telling moment. Stone is not a person who wants to destroy things. She is someone trying, despite everything, to be free. But freedom does not come easily here. Blonde suddenly attacks her with a blade. A brutal struggle follows. Stone manages to subdue her, but her ankle is cut in the process. Woodhouse storms in, already looking for a reason. He tries to turn the violence against Stone, but Lennon intervenes. Confirming Blonde through the first blow, Stone is taken to the prison infirmary. The hospital is a reflection of the island itself. Decayed, indifferent, barely functional. Dr. Bragg, the attending physician, is eating snacks and reading when Lennon brings Stone in. A rusted air-conditioning unit rattles in the corner. Strange insects crawl inside it, thick and gummy when crushed. Several patients are vomiting in their beds, and Bragg treats none of it as unusual. When told about Stone's ankle wound, Bragg waves it off. Why spend the effort on someone scheduled to die? Lennon pushes back, and Bragg relents, starting the stitches without cleaning the wound first, mocking Stone the whole time. Then an alarm of sorts breaks the rhythm. Officers drag in a man from D Block, one of Dr. Brooke's trial subjects, who apparently tried to escape during testing. Bragg drops everything and rushes to him, suddenly attentive in a way she was not for Stone. Something is being hidden here. The man from D Block dies, or appears to. Bragg and a nurse retreat rather than handle the body. Blonde is also brought in and restrained. The priest arrives. Bragg confides that things are unraveling. He begins administering last rites. Stone watches the unconscious form of the dead patient from D block. Catching the priest's attention, she asks who the man was. He sidesteps the question entirely, instead asking her how she feels about being on this island. Then he says something strange. He had been praying earlier with Butcher, specifically asking that her daughter would not be punished for her mother's sins. He knows more than he reveals. Night settles over the hospital. The ward is overrun by cockroaches crawling across motionless bodies. Stone stirs at an odd sound. She sees the D-block patient rise from his bed, moving in a way no living person should move. He collapses. Bragg assumes he has died and flees with her nurse. Stone closes her eyes, uncertain. Then she is woken again by screaming. The man is no longer a man. He is consuming blonde. Stone's composure shatters. Lennon appears behind her. He pulls her out. They move through the corridors as quietly as possible. But the creature detects them. They barricade themselves inside a room and pull up the security. Feed. The cameras show what was once a hospital ward turned into something unrecognizable. The infected have multiplied. The staff are gone. Doctor Bragg is among the dead. In the main cell block, the remaining officers order the prisoners to return to their cells. They refuse. They have been beating their plates and go in without food for too long. Butcher steps forward and speaks on their behalf. She tells Woodhouse plainly, the prisoners outnumber the guards, and when things fall apart, he will need them. The standoff is interrupted when Dr. Brooke is spotted in a side corridor, speaking urgently into a phone. He is begging for evacuation. The voice on the other end ends the call. The government is aware of what is happening on this island. The government has chosen to do nothing. Stone and Lennon reach the cells. The infected from the hospital reach the block. In the chaos, Lennon is wounded. Stone and Lennon free as many prisoners as possible, handing Butcher the keys. They regroup in the kitchen, where the scene they find explains everything. Have prepared food, abandoned dishes, the kitchen. Staff did not go home. They were already infected, long before anyone in the cells ever noticed, while prisoners were demanding meals and striking their plates in protest. The people responsible for feeding them had already turned. The chef lunges from the shadows. Prisoner is dragged away. Only screams and remains are left behind. The survivors make it to the governor's office. Dr. Brooke is already there, and so is a framed photograph. A woman named Elizabeth, the governor's sister. The governor initially commands her guards to shoot everyone present. Butcher talks her down. The governor cannot escape this island alone. The governor pauses. Stone notices the prisoner files spread across the desk. She finds her own. According to the documents, she gave her consent to the medical trials. She signed nothing. Butcher finds a document bearing her daughter's name. She confronts the governor. No answer is given. A prisoner named Moses begins seizing. Arguments break out about whether she has been infected. Butcher refuses to let anyone harm her. On the CCTV monitor, they spot Dr. Brooke, crouched beneath a desk while infected figures circle nearby. Stone volunteers without hesitation. She moves through the facility and discovers something no one expected. The infected are photosensitive. In direct light, they freeze completely. Locking into place like statues, they sense her presence. They strain toward her. But as long as the light holds, they cannot move. Stone uses this. She collects weapons from the floor and guides Brooke safely back to the group. By now, Lennon's condition has deteriorated beyond recovery. He is showing every symptom. They tie him to a chair. Stone begs Brooke to find some way to help him. Lennon had saved her life. Brooke hands her a gun and looks away. Infection, once it takes hold, ends only one way. Killing someone who hurt you is violence. Killing someone who saved you is something else entirely. A commotion draws everyone to the security monitors. There is noise at the main gate. People are outside. Butcher believes her daughter might be among them. The governor hopes for her sister. Elizabeth, Stone, Butcher, and the governor make their way to the gate using the power from the electric chair generator. The same generator keeping the lights and therefore the infected at bay. They open the gate and clear a path. Back in the office, the sounds of the struggle fade. When they return, a young woman is sitting alone. She is not Butcher's daughter. She is not the governor's sister. She has no connection to either of them. Morning comes, the sounds of the night die away. No movement, no howling. The group splits up to assess the situation. The girl opens a Bible. Brooke takes his medication quietly. Stone sits alone. And Brooke comes to find her. What follows is the closest this film gets to confession. Brooke tells her he knew Senator Allen. He tells her the senator was not the man the world believed him to be. He tells her he knows she did not kill Allen's family. Stone fills in what he cannot say. She tells him what happened. There is a flashback, a man with an umbrella, the same figure from her vision on the gurney. That was Allen. She confronted him privately after watching him abuse his family day after day. He made promises. The next morning, he killed his wife and children. Stone killed him for what he had done. She had been protecting his family the only way she had left. She tells Brooke that her home is by the sea, the same beach from the beginning of the film. If she survives this island, that is where she wants to return. While this conversation plays out, Woodhouse has been making his own arrangements. He and a female prisoner are quietly planning an escape together. He has already decided how it will work. Other survivors become decoys, but with their lives, so that he and his partner can reach the gate. The doorbell at the facility entrance pulls Brooke away, and Stone makes use of the moment. She accesses the CCTV and locates patient 0, the original subject whose infection started. Everything. The governor is discovered in her office trying to kill herself. Stone stops her and pieces together what the trials were meant to accomplish. The governor chose prisoners from 13 countries, all condemned to death, and used them in experiments designed to cure the world's worst diseases, a noble dream. Assembled from the worst possible materials, then the infected breach the office. These are not the same creatures they encountered in the hospital. The previous infected were paralyzed by light. These move freely in broad daylight. They are the ones who came through the main gate, just as suddenly as they appeared. They retreat. The door opens slowly, and one of them steps inside. It is Elizabeth, the governor's sister. Stone raises her weapon. The governor begs her not to fire. She says there is a cure on the mainland. Elizabeth can still be saved. They just have to survive 5 more days until the supply ship arrives. The group assembles to consider their options. Woodhouse moves first. He identifies a volunteer, or rather creates one, using a prisoner as bait to clear a path to the exit. Then kills one of his own people to feed to the infected while he and his partner advance. Stone confronts him. She realizes what he has done and how many people he has fed to the dead. She injects his partner with a sedative. The Elizabeth turn charges Woodhouse and bites him before he can react. Butcher hauls him to the electric chair and executes him without ceremony. What remains of the group needs a way out. The governor says the phone line could reach help, but the power grid is down. Stone points back to the electric chair room. Its generator is still running. If they can get there, they can make the call. Someone has to draw the infected away from the corridor. Moses steps forward before anyone else can speak. She walks ahead. She draws them. She becomes what was needed, so the others could survive. Everyone who watches her go carries the weight of it. But they keep moving. 6 remain. Brooke, the girl. Butcher, the governor. The zombie Elizabeth. And Stone. They reach the generator room. Butcher restores the phone line. The governor makes the call. A voice answers, says little and disconnects. The window closes before anyone can demand more. Then Elizabeth turns on the person closest to her sister. The bite is immediate. Butcher ends both of them without looking away. Somewhere behind them, Moses is still alive, strapped to an electric chair. Having survived what should have been unsurvivable, more infected flood the corridor. Butcher tells them to run. She stays. 3 remain: Brooke, the girl, and Stone. They search for a way out. Stone closes her eyes and sees the woman from the beach, perhaps her mother, and for a moment the world becomes simple and warm. Then the image breaks. She looks at her own skin. The signs are already there. She has been scratched at some point during the chaos, and the infection has taken hold. She is changing. The story beneath everything is not complicated. A governor with an enormous medical ambition selected 13 prisoners from around the world, all condemned and considered expendable, and used them in experiments meant to save millions. The experiment failed. One subject became patient 0. 2 strains emerged, those who freeze in the light, and those who do not. Elizabeth belonged to the second group, and she had not chosen any of this. Now Stone, the woman who survived an island, a frame-up, and a death sentence, has been infected. She is on her way to a helicopter that holds the last living people on St. Leonard's Island. And the question the film leaves behind is a simple one. Does she board that helicopter and risk carrying the infection to the mainland? Or does she choose, one final time, not to become the thing that destroys the people she has been protecting all along?